Hello and welcome to today's session on immunity and immunization. I am Dr. Rachna Agarwal, Assistant Professor in the School of Vocational Education and Training, Indira Gandhi National Open University. Today we will see what is immunity. We have heard a lot about immunity. Immunity is required in today's era. We are all witnessing a very high coronavirus pandemic these days, and let us see how we can first try to understand immunity and how we can relate to immunity. Then only we will be able to build up our immunity. So let us see what are the objectives of today's session. In today's session, we will learn what is immunity and what are the different types of immunity. We will also try and understand the different types of natural or innate immunity. And we will also try to understand what are the various types of acquired immunity. That is, what is active immunity, what is passive immunity, and what are their classifications. We will also discuss about immunization, what is meant by immunization, and what are the very common terms which are associated with immunity and immunization, that is anti-sera, immunoglobulins, toxoids. We will learn about all these things. So let us start. As far as the definition goes, the term immunity refers to the resistance shown by the host. Host is the human being or any animal or any body towards a disease. That is when how strong or how immune is our body to fight a disease. That is referred to as immunity. So any organism which enters into our body, say whether it is a bacteria, a virus, or any other microorganism, our body can fight with it. It has its own ability to fight. So this capacity of the body to fight of anybody, like for us or any other animal, or even for plant that matter, is known as immunity. When a microorganism comes in contact with the host, various defense mechanisms of the body are activated. And the body's defense system produces substances that can recognize that microorganism, and it has the ability to destroy and eliminate the foreign material. Body is given this defense mechanism, and these defense substances which are present in our bodies are known as antibodies. Antibody is nothing but a protein substance which develops as a result of a response to an antigen. So all antibodies belong to a special group of serum proteins which are known as immunoglobulins. They are serum proteins. And what is an antigen? For example, as I said, antigen response to an antigen is production of antibody. So what is an antigen? Definition: antigen is a substance that induces the formation of antibodies that interact specifically with it, and an antigen may be introduced into the body or it may be formed within the body. This is also interesting. Our body also forms antigens in response to any foreign particle or foreign microorganism. Now, if we see what are the various types of immunity, there are two major types of immunity, that is natural or innate immunity as we call, and acquired immunity. Natural or innate immunity is the resistance to infections possessed by an individual by birth. Okay, we all have some resistance in our bodies which we possess due to our genetic makeup. Okay, so this is our natural immunity that we are born with. And natural immunity does not depend on prior exposure to microorganisms or any immunization. So we are born with it, right? And natural immunity may further be divided into three categories: species immunity, racial immunity, and individual immunity. Let us see first we try to understand what is species immunity. Species immunity is resistance to pathogens which is shown by all members of a species. That is, say for example, we as human beings are not susceptible to certain kinds of diseases because we are having immunity. Like for example, suppose there is a plant pathogen which is capable of producing a certain kind of disease in the plants, and we happen to consume that plant. But that pathogen which is present in the plant or the plant product, say a fruit or a vegetable, if we happen to consume it, that same pathogen cannot produce any disease in us. So what I mean to say here is different species, plants, animals, human beings, they are having certain immunity towards certain pathogens or microorganisms. And those pathogens can produce the effect only in those species. So, species immunity is specific to that particular species. Also, for example, typhoid is a serious disease in humans, but say a dog or a mice or anybody bites us who is infected with typhoid, it doesn't mean that that animal will also become diseased with typhoid. So that species of mice or any other animal is immune towards typhoid. Okay, you understand? So some animals and plants which have some immunity, that is innate, that is species specific immunity. Then we have racial immunity. Racial immunity occurs when different races of humans in different geographical locations show immunity. Now you see, there are certain geographical areas like for example, in Africa, there are certain regions in which the Africans who are born there, they are immune to certain kind of diseases which we are not immune to. Like for example, if there is a malarial parasite which is capable of causing malaria disease in us, and the same malarial parasite bites or gets into the body of an that particular region African person of that particular geographical region, then that person will not have any disease. So this kind of immunity is called racial immunity. Some races, like the species here is the same, human beings, but due to the different geographical locations, some races of our species are inherently immune to the to certain kinds of microorganisms or parasites. So first was species, then now is the racial immunity, which is due to different kind of geographical locations. And definitely there is a role of genetic makeup, and genetic makeup is why, because of the particular region or geography or the DNA present in that area. So this was about racial immunity. Next is individual immunity. Some individuals are, you can say, more likely to get infected by some kind of diseases. That is called individual's own immunity. Like for example, you would see that whenever there is a change of season, some people get more affected by the cough and cold, but others do not get that much affected. So we can say that some people are more immune to the changing weather, but others are not. So this also depends upon an individual's own immunity. It is known as individual immunity. So these were the three types of natural immunity. Now let us see what is acquired immunity. Acquired immunity that is acquired by an individual is in some form from outside or due to some infection, and this can happen anytime during one's lifetime. So here you are not born with it, but you acquire as you live your life and as you encounter different kinds of um, diseases, disorders, or maybe vaccinations. So acquired immunity can also be of two types, which is active and passive. Now, active acquired immunity is acquired by an individual as a result of an infection. As I said, like suppose in these days we are witnessing pandemic situation of coronavirus, and some of us are getting immune to the virus by getting infected to the virus. We are getting first infected, then we are able to fight the virus, we develop the immunity. So by means of getting infected, the immunity is coming in our body, not through vaccination. So this is called active acquired immunity. Okay. And how do we acquire active immunity? That is, we acquire this active immunity when the body has produced antibodies against a microorganism, or when cells in the body are activated and can destroy the disease causing microorganisms or their toxins. So, once a person acquires an active immunity, he or she becomes immune to further infections. May or may not, but generally one becomes immune to further infections and the same antigen or microorganism. That is, if that particular disease you have encountered once in your life, then it is quite likely that you will not encounter the same disease the second time in your life. So you become immune to it. And the next thing is that this active immunity, which develops after a latent period, there's some time gap, which is due to because of the antigen introduced into the body. This active immunity is superior to the passive immunity because it is produced within the body, it is more effective, it gives a better protection and is long lasting. For example, it persists for several years. So, this kind of immunity, which is active immunity, is superior to passive immunity. Now, the immune response in case of subsequent infections is quicker, and it is more pronounced when the body is attacked by the same antigen. That is, if the virus or that bacteria which again attacks the same person, then your immune system is strong enough to counter that infection. And active immunity is also associated with immunological memory. That is, the immune system is able to retain the memory of an antigen exposure for a long time. Our body remembers it, that okay, this is the infection which had occurred, and the antibodies are already in your blood, they are already circulating in your bloodstream. So it is more likely that you will not be affected by the same disease or the pathogen in subsequent encounters. So active immunity may be of again two types. It may be natural or artificial. You can see here I have tried to explain in a flowchart manner. Acquired immunity is of two types, active and passive, and within that active is also again of two types, natural and artificial, and passive is also of two types, natural and artificial. Natural, acquired, active immunity. This kind of immunity develops by the body after an infection. That is, for example, infection of measles, chickenpox, or polio virus during our childhood helps the body in developing an immunity towards these kind of diseases. And this kind of immunity is usually long lasting, or it may be for lifetime. That is, once this kind of an immunity develops, and once we are exposed or we develop infection towards these diseases, then we may not develop it in entire lifespan. But natural active immunity produced from common colds is short lived. Our body doesn't remember that. Oh, that last season you had a common cold, or this season that antibody is gone. It is short lived also. Now, artificial active immunity, on the other hand, artificial active acquired immunity is developed by vaccines. Vaccines are the antigen containing preparations or the live or killed microorganisms which are introduced into our body. So that is why it is known as artificial. It is not happening on its own in a natural manner. It is being introduced into our body by means of vaccinations. So when this kind of preparation is injected into the body, they stimulate antibody production. Thus, an individual acquires immunity against a disease in a controlled manner. So now next we see what is passive acquired immunity. We have talked about natural and natural and artificial acquired immunity. This is passive acquired immunity. In passive acquired immunity, ready-made antibodies are given to an individual. There is no role of the immune system. Immune system is there, but the ready-made antibodies are given to our body. And this type of immunity is effective immediately, and there is no latent period in passive immunity. Passive immunity is short-lived and it is lasting only for few days or weeks until the transmitted antibodies are metabolized and eliminated. That immunity will remain in the body. And there is no immunological memory in passive immunity. Thus, passive immunity is less effective. Because of the rapid and the immediate onset, we require passive immunity at times. Why? That is why we say that we should get vaccinated. This is also of two types. It is again natural acquired passive immunity, which is transmitted from mother to the baby. Okay, maternal antibodies, if the mother is vaccinated, that is why during pregnancy, mother is vaccinated against certain diseases, and those antibodies which are formed in the body of the mother, they are passed on to the child through the placental blood, and this gives immunity to the newborn baby right from the mother's womb. So this can last to certain extent, that is say several months or a year. That is why babies show resistance to certain kind of diseases like diphtheria, chickenpox and measles. But this immunity is only till the age of 3 months or maybe 6 to 7 months. Artificially produced passive immunity is one in which antibodies are produced outside. Like for example, it is definitely through the means of vaccinations which is introduced into our body, and the substance for these vaccinations. So these antibodies are produced outside, that is in some other animal like horse, or the blood from horse, or some sera which is originating from another human being is taken, and these antibodies are produced therein, and then they are injected into other recipients. So this antibody containing preparations are known as anti-sera or immune sera. Now let us see what is immunization. Immunization, we all understand. Vaccinations we have all taken at some point of the time. Immunization is a process by which immune system of a human being becomes fortified or enriched against an agent. We are enriching our immune system against a virus or a bacteria, and immunization is done commonly by vaccinations. These vaccines against microorganisms that cause disease can prepare the immune system, thus helping to fight or prevent an infection. We have a variety of childhood vaccinations like diphtheria, pertussis, DPT we call commonly, which is given for diphtheria, pertussis and tetanus, and also MMR, which is given for measles, mumps and rubella. So these are all the immunization or vaccinations which are given, and we all have taken them. Immunization may also be active or passive. In active immunization, vaccines which may be toxoids or suspensions, they are given, and the suspension is further divided into two categories, that is, maybe it may be a viral or a bacterial, and each bacteria and viral toxoid or suspension is prepared from killed or inactivated living organisms. Now, killed or inactivated vaccines are made from bacteria like, for example, cholera, pertussis, plague, and typhoid or paratyphoid vaccinations. And living activated vaccines are prepared from living bacteria, like, for example, BCG vaccines. Now, similarly, vaccines made from killed or inactivated viruses include influenza, rabies, measles, polio, and these vaccines are made from live viruses, which include smallpox and yellow fever. Passive immunization can be further divided into two categories, which is antisera and immunoglobulins. Antisera are antibody containing preparations. They produce passive immunity. In this flowchart, you can see that passive immunization is divided into antisera and immunoglobulins, and antisera is of four types. Here I can explain, which is anti-toxic antibodies, antibacterial antibodies, antiviral, and antivenins. These are the four types of antisera, and each of this antisera is able or is capable of neutralizing the various toxins that are produced as a result of metabolic substances which are produced because of a pathogen. Okay, antivenins, for example, is the one which can neutralize the venom when there is a snake bite or a scorpio bite. So these are all kinds of antisera. And then we have certain immunoglobulins. What are immunoglobulins? Immunoglobulins are antibody preparations, and they are obtained from human plasma or serum. Specific human immunoglobulins have at least 5 times the antibody potential prepared from hyperimmune human subjects who have successfully recovered from an infection. You must have seen people asking from some donors blood from or some people to donate blood who have recovered from corona. Why? Because their body has produced these immunoglobulins, and once injected into another person, the person will be able to fight the infection in a better manner. Normal human immunoglobulins are obtained from pooled material. When there is hundreds or 1500 donors, then we develop a pool of these immunoglobulins, which is even more richer and more effective. Then we have another term which is known as toxoids. See, toxoids come from the word toxins. Toxins are the toxic substances which are produced as byproducts of metabolism of pathogenic microorganisms, as I said, endotoxins and exotoxins. Now, these toxins are also antigenic in nature, like microbial cells, but they cannot be used as such due to their toxic nature. So what toxoids are antigenic substances prepared from toxins by destroying the toxicity without causing any significant loss of their antigenic properties. Means the toxic part is removed, and the one which is desired antigenic preparation is taken, and a toxoid is developed. Usually we use formaldehyde to destroy or eliminate the toxic properties. And formaldehyde treated toxin is known as formol toxide, which is purified and absorbed on a suitable carrier like aluminum hydroxide. Once injected, the antigen is slowly released to give a prolonged effect. Now, vaccine prepared from bacterial culture is inactivated by application of heat, And similar viral vaccines are prepared from viruses which are grown in animals, embryotic cells like eggs, and cultures of tissues and cells. Now, let us sum up. We have talked in detail, learned about various things like immunity, types of immunity, what is natural or innate immunity, acquired immunity, and also we have discussed about immunization and various types of anti-sera. So I will close here and thank you very much.